Hello students, in this part we are going to learn about the chapter 3 motion in a straight line. In this chapter we are going to study about the motion and the rest object. What is motion? An object is said to be in motion if it's changed its position with respect to its surrounding. With the passage of time is known as motion. And what is rest? Something which does not change its position with respect to its surrounding is in motion. Now the question comes, what is this mechanics? So the mechanics is the branch of physics that we deals with the conditions of rest or motion of the material objects around us is known as mechanics. If I will talk about mechanics, simple words we can say the study of object at rest or in motion is known as mechanics. The mechanics is the oldest branch of the physics, and this mechanics is subdivided into three sub branches, which is statics, kinematics and dynamics. Okay, so now we are going to discuss all these things in detail. First thing comes statics. So as the name given, which deals with the study of the object which is at rest or in equilibrium. Which is at rest, you know that something kept on a table, that is at rest. So that study of that object is known as statics. What is equilibrium? I will give you the example of that. When the two person are playing tug of war, that time one person is taking, and when the two if three person are the other side and the three person are the other side, you will notice that the forces are in equilibrium. तो कहीं भी वो चीज move नहीं करेगी, that will be stationary. So that is the study of equilibrium. Now I will talk about kinematics, which deals with the motion without considering the cause. Okay, means, and this kinematics word is derived from a Greek word. Okay, what is that word? Is kinema, which means that is motion. So the study of motion without considering its cause is known as kinematics. Now the third one we are going to talk about, that is dynamics. It is the study of the motion of the object taking into consideration the cause of their motion. Kinematics mein we are not considering the cause of motion, but in dynamics we are considering the cause of motion. Okay, this word dynamics is also come from a Greek word which means dynama. Okay, or dynamics we can say, which means the power. Okay, this is also come from a Greek word which means power. So here we are going to consider that what is the cause of that motion. For example, if we will see that if you are rotating the cap of your water bottle, okay, so when you are simply rotating it, you are not considering the cause of it. That study is called the uh, kinematics. But once you are going to consider its cause, why the bottle cap is rotated, you know, because of you are applying their torque. Okay, there on the bottle cap the torque is applied. So the study of this particular is known as dynamics. Okay, position of an object is continuously changing with respect to its surrounding, then it's said to be the state of motion. We have already discussed, right? In class 9th also you have studied about motion, and we have already considered that object can be simultaneously can be at rest or in motion. For example, the passenger who's sitting in the bus, he is in rest with respect to the bus, but he is in motion with respect to the surrounding or to the person who's standing outside the bus. So this is about motion, and we are going to see now the types of motion. Here there are the three types of motion. First one is rectilinear motion, which we also call the translatory motion, right? The motion in which the particle moves along a straight line is called the rectilinear motion. For example, the motion of a sliding body of an inclined plane, or you can say that a motion of a car on a straight road or in a highway, right? That is also an example of your rectilinear motion. Or you can say that if a bag of sugar dropped from a helicopter, right? So anything which we are going to talk about, that is your rectilinear motion or a translatory motion, means a motion which is fixed along a fixed line. Circular motion, or we can say a rotational motion, the motion in which a particle moves in a circular path is called a circular motion. For example, we have a merry-go-round. When you were a kid, you used to play at merry-go-round, right? Or the motion of the earth around the sun. Okay, oscillatory motion, we call this motion also as a vibratory motion. Okay, what is this vibratory motion? A motion which is fixed around two fixed points is known as oscillatory or a vibratory motion, right? Now if I will give you the example, so the pendulum you already know. Another example is the swinging in a swing. You remember that when you were a kid, you are used to sit in a one swinging you are sitting in that, and the person is going to give you a force, and then you are going to swing on that. That is also an example of your oscillatory motion, right? Now we are going to talk about that is position, frame of reference, path length, and displacement. Okay, so what is this position? If I will ask you, this position is very important for the frame, for the understanding of the frame of reference. Okay, what is position? If I will ask you, so it is defined as a point where an object is situated. Okay, position can be determined by the coordinate axis, and that can be marked in units of length that has a positive or negative. You understand this position basically. Position matters, you know. Why it matters? For example, I will take the example of a school. If someone is playing in the ground, okay, and you are sitting in your class 11th and you are observing that person from your class. I'm sitting in the staff room and I am observing that person from the staff room, and the another person is outside the school and that person is observing that particular person from outside the school. One person position is different for the different person, right? It means that the position is vary for a different to the different person, right? So position matters, and that is also matters from which reference we are going to measure it. So now we are going to discuss the frame of reference. What is this frame of reference? We know to find out the exact position of anything, we need to find out its velocity, we need to know its acceleration, we need to know its uniform speed, and everything we want to know about it. Then only we are able to find out its exact position. So for finding the knowledge, or for finding the position of an object, we need to know its velocity, acceleration of the object, right? Now if I will talk about the frame of reference, just now I have given you the example of the person who's standing in a ground, and we have seen that same person from a three different positions, right? So what is this frame of reference? If we have considered that frame of reference as a fixed point, or at origin, as we are considering in mathematics, as you have studied, right? We are considering a fixed point or a place with respect to which the position or the velocity or acceleration of a body or any object is measured is known as a frame of reference, right? How we can find it out? We can find it out that we are considering a one fixed point through which we are going to calculate all these things, and that is what we called a frame of reference. Okay, now there are two types of frame of reference, okay, that we are going to discuss. Why they have given only two types, but practically there are three types of frame of reference. Okay, what is that? You know, the first one is Cartesian coordinate system, second one is spherical polar coordinate system, and third one is called the cylindrical coordinate system. Here they have given the examples of inertial frame reference and non-inertial frame of reference. The inertial frame of reference is come under the category of a Cartesian coordinate system. What is this Cartesian coordinate system? You know, that is, we are using x, y and z, right? When you are studying the mathematics also, that time you are using a Cartesian coordinate system. So the Cartesian coordinate system is divided into two types, that is inertial frame of reference and non-inertial frame of reference. What is inertial frame of reference? You can say any frame of reference which is either at rest or moving uniform velocity is known as an inertial frame of reference. What does it mean? Means something which is at rest, or we can say something which is moving, but that can be moving uniformly. So whenever we look at it, that particular thing, it always appears to us as at rest. That is called, or that is come under the inertial frame of reference. Such as you can say the example of your geosynchronous, right? Means something which is sync, right? I will talk about this later, what is this geosynchronous and all, but we can say that what are inertial frame of reference? Something which is sync. Here they have given the example, a plane moving on a horizontal track with constant is an inertial frame of reference, right? Here also you can say that a train which is moving on a horizontal track with a constant velocity is known as a inertial frame of reference. Now we are going to talk about the non-inertial frame of reference. What is non-inertial frame of reference? A reference which is accelerated is called the non-inertial frame of reference. Here they have given example of body falling under the force of gravity. Okay, means something which is accelerating, whose velocity is not fixed, which will be changing, which will be increasing, right? So such things are come under the heading of non-inertial frame of references. Okay, now what is this path length and what is this distance displacement? See, what is this path length? The path covered by an object in a given interval of time is called its path length, or we can say a distance. Means the actual path covered by an object is known as its distance. And what is displacement? The shortest distance from the initial position to the final position of a particle is called its displacement, right? See, today we have only discussed about the what I can say, the beginning and the only the introduction part of the chapter. In the next class we are going to discuss everything in the detail. So for now you can understand all these terminologies and all these things in a that what is the basics of it, that we can understand, and then we are going to see in the next class and we are going to discuss this in detail. Okay, so displacement is clear to you. What is that displacement? A shortest path between the 2 points is known as the displacement. Okay, we are going to see all these things in detail. So thank you all of you.